Hello friends, a lot of people out there trying to finish up their late cutting edge, their late Sylvanas kills, trying to get that 10 of 10 Mythic, and I thought I'd bring out a POV and maybe a bit of a guide here to Mythic Sylvanas as a Boomkin. It's a really important class kind of on the fight. Obviously their kit lends itself really well to doing a ton of damage. A lot of guilds are trying to recruit them and obviously as a result want to get a lot of DPS out of them. And if you're a Boomkin or you are a guild with a Boomkin and maybe trying to get a little bit more DPS out of your Boomkin, this is potentially a video for you. This is POV. It did, I think, 9k, a little bit worse than my best, but the boss died in my last ramp, and I kind of want to talk about Mythic Sylvanas as a Boomkin POV. So on this first ramp, this pretty much you're just taking care of the chains and pushing boss damage here. Key for this is when you start it, you want to start this ramp at 18 seconds left on the first chain cast, so you don't send it right on pull. Wait a few seconds and start your ramp when the chain timer, like you can see the timer up in the top right under my mini map, that one says 27 seconds left for the second set. On the first set of chains back at the beginning, when it's 18 seconds left, start your Ravenous Frenzy, start ramping, and then when the arrows spawn, right when they go active, like you can see the desecrating shot timer on my screen, there'll be one that says chains active on your bigwigs or your DBM. And on that, right when they go active, just hit Starfall, stand in the middle of the chains, and let that cleave them down. Outside of that, this is just going to be standard P1 mechanics here. You can see you just go get set on a chain. Weak auras are there to organize them. My weak aura went a little weird here, so I'd go right, but it over-assigned people to right side. Dot up these arrows, hit Starfall, and move accordingly. We use Lockgate to dodge this first fail, and then if you didn't take Lockgate, you can take it back like I did to the boss. If you're really looking to pump numbers, or maybe your guild needs help killing sentinels, you can use your second Fury of the Loon, the first one outside of cooldowns, plus Starfall, dot up, and really dump DPS into these dark sentinels. It can really help boost you up. You can see me and the other Moonkin in our guild are really slamming here. Just big gap, but that's what the Moonkin kit does. The Venthyr ramp gives you insane damage on that first set of chains and just a big DPS spike in general when you can use that Starfall, spread cleave kind of scenario. And then pretty standard stuff here, just continuing to dodge, continuing to move around, standard P1 phasing. You want to clear debuff here, obviously going into the phase. I don't need to, so I move away. We have to hold boss DPS here, but just Starfall, dot up the arrows, help kill these arrows. Sometimes these are a slow set to kill if you don't have CDs assigned. So I like to see if I can get Starfire Eclipse there to pump into those, but not too big of a deal. Just get the damage you can. Here I throw out a heal. Just kind of damage is going to be pretty high here. I try to save Barkskin for this phase, and then we bop our DK and send him in to kind of grip everything together. Makes it easier to cleave down these ads. But either way, see, I pop my Barkskin because it's honestly out of habit. I didn't need to here. I only had one barbed arrow stack. And then we want to hold. And as soon as my ramp comes back up, I pop it and start stacking for this intermission. If you guys are getting the Veil here before this phase, you can do that too. And then in this intermission, you want to hit Starfall right before the arrows go active. Fury of the Loon, the middle pack, and dot up as many packs as you can. And then you can Starfire and spam your Star Surges, anything instant cast, into the chains. You can see me and Manbear, the other Boomkin, are just absolutely dumping on these intermission chains. And the faster you get those dead, the easier it is to prog this for your guild. So the more you can do here, the more DPS you can do here, the easier it is for all your guildies to stay alive and to prog this phase, because this is one of the highest pull count parts of Sylvanas, is just progging P1. Lots of people dying to Rive and, getting sorted out all the movement. It's not that hard. It's like really a scripted phase. You kind of do the same thing each time. But learning that and not losing anyone can take a while. And you can do a lot as a Boomkin to kind of help that. So that's a little look at P1 there. Now we get into P2. You can heal up people here if you need to. Not really much going on. I'll just kind of let you watch along. Keep in mind you can use Travel Form. It's awesome. Travel Form plus Wild Charge gets you across nice and quick. Kind of sets you up. I like to just push across, focus on the waves, and then go ahead and get my dots out. All the standard stuff. Get into Eclipse, Starfall. I use Fury of the Loon here. And then just kind of help blast that summoner, since that's, at least in my guild, that's the prio ad. And then you gotta dodge this here. I was super late on the movement there, but I made it. But someone else didn't. You can see some Veil stacks on the raid frames. Always makes it hard. And then just pump on this Goliath here. Help your tank out since he is getting blasted. You probably have assigned roars pretty much wherever your guild needs it. We have a lot between 2 wind rushes, 2 boomkins, plenty of movement speed, and we warlock gate all the veils during the Sylvanas burns. So I roared there. Kind of works wherever you're assigned to, just do it. You can see warlock gate go down here. Nothing really fancy you can do. We don't burn CDs on this burn, so you can see right side. Oh, keep in mind on that last platform, you can use your decurse on yourself to dispel. Helps a lot, reduces damage your healers have to heal, and it keeps you from getting that movement speed slow that makes it hard to dodge veil. So do that, and then I hold this Fury of Elune here. I don't want to use it again because I'm using my CDs here soon. I just try to blast boss with everything I can until she goes immune, which is in like 5 seconds here. Just pump out all my astral power, and then she goes immune, and then I just want to stack up astral power here is what I try to do until it's safe. See people moving, I accidentally arcane lock myself. If you probably want to be resto affinity for this, you can do some off healing on yourself, get yourself topped up, and then use your travel form to catch back up. So it's pretty easy. As soon as the trash can spawns, I just eat the wave. Don't do that. That's bad. You pop your ramp as soon as trash can spawns. Stack up here. You can do this 2 ways. You can either Starfall for this movement, which is generally what I do. It's a little easier. Allows you to just keep casting. Or you can use Star Surges and your dots to do the movement. I think technically doing the Star Surges is better, higher DPS, but this trash can dies before my ramp most of the time, ends most of the time anyway. So you can see, dump the ramp in here. It just obliterates him. Ideally, you have a roar here. I'm actually supposed to roar here, but I roared earlier because someone asked for it, and then I didn't have it. And really close on that interrupt, but we're good. We take those. You should walk in here so that it's easier for your healers to heal you. I was being really lazy here and just sitting out on the platform. You can see I end up healing myself because I got a little worried for a second. Better to heal yourself and lose a little bit of DPS than not. Door Shadows in, Warlock Gate this, and then I'm kind of hitting the ads here a little bit, but yeah, I was trying to get my parse. We've got this on farm. We're several kills in. And then yeah, you should blast boss here. Just focus Sylvanas until she goes immune. Especially if you're progging this, you're going to need the DPS. Make sure you don't get hit by waves here. There's a black arrow dot going out, so people are actually taking a lot of damage in this phase. Make sure you get set. If you're ever low on one of those, just shift bear form. And I think really good for this fight, there's a conduit. It's called Ursine Vigor, I believe. It basically makes it so when you go bear form, you get a ton of extra HP and armor, I believe, is how it works. And I 100% recommend running that conduit on this fight. It is awesome. It makes it so when you have to soak the Mercilesses on the P3 platforms, you're super tanky, and if there's anything, you just shift bear form and you get a ton of HP and you're pretty much invincible. So on P3 here, you're going to have assigned spots. I tend to send this Fury of Elune before this Veil. This time I didn't. It works either way. You go to your assigned spot. Mine is kind of right there for that left. There's going to be 2 Merciless folks that spawn in that corner where I just was. I've got the left one, and I believe Local Tyrant has the right one in this raid. You can bark skin every Banshee's Fury. The time ring works out well for that with the conduit. I recommend doing that. It's one of the scarier parts. That or the arrows are the kind of like the big damage instances on P3. You can see I wild charge out to my spot. I just kind of like to get set in my spot. And here I actually should step back in just for healing during these arrows. Like I should be in this AMZ. You can see I kind of walk forward. I realize I'm being bad. Knives go out. These things are terrifying to me. I'm the worst about getting hit by knives, so I have to be really careful. Go out. You can see my assigned spot here. And then after this darkness is my soak. And then I want to ramp immediately after that. So you can see all my CDs are up. Decent number of stacks of Chaos Band. It's pretty good. I'm looking. This is me. I go bear form just for the soak, especially since I have Veil. I got to be careful. And then I pop CDs. I stopped running Bell on this fight. I didn't really like it because there's so many ramps where you don't have hero, and that's really where Bell gets the advantage. You do get 2 ramps with it, but it's just so micromanaging, and the DPS is so minimal between. I was finding out that the ocular gland was feeling better recently. So just get my full ramp here. Normally, I'm not the druid that gets PI. I'm not sure actually why I scored it on this raid. This is the first raid where I've ever gotten PI over the other druid, but hey, if the priest is giving you PI, you don't complain. You take that. And then here, this is my soak as well. Go bear form for the soak. Just make sure that it's 100%. No chance you're going to die. It's pretty nice and easy. Lots of util here as Boomkin that you can just keep your life. You can see I'm going to get the... I think I get the Veil a gazillion times this night of Reclear. But I'm always fine just because bear form. It's your friend, use it. So Raze here, I roar, get everyone across. This one, the third platform, she Banshee's Furies right away. And there, a lot of time you have stacks from that Veil before because there's a Veil and then you have to move for Raze, so you might have high stacks. So I always bark skin early here and then it carries over. You can see it lasts until the end of the Fury. And then that's kind of one of the scary spots on P3 is that first bit, and then there's one at the end. And you've got bark skin for both of them, which is awesome. You just kind of use Fury of Elune on cooldown here for whenever there's not a Veil or anything, and you can feel like you can use the DPS from the Astral Power is good. Merciless Soaks, these are the immune ones. These are probably not you as Boomkins. So you can see all the immune classes here. Get those soaks. I get Veil again for the gazillionth time, and Bear Form is going to keep me alive. This part's scary. This is one of the scary parts. You can see we used APT Totem here. I popped Heart of the Wild just because I anticipate that I might do some off healing here just out of fear. I wanted to have it ready. It also just bumps up my passive healing, and there's really like, I don't have an assigned spot to use it. It's utility. I was like, I guess I'll just send it. Bark skin this. Make sure I'm in the healing rain. And as long as we kill these soaks, we're pretty much good for this platform. Like that's kind of one of the scary spots, and then there's the same Veil to Raze combo. And anytime you have these Veil into Raze, it's a little spooky because if you double stack, it can kind of be hard to stack up, especially if your platform cleaning is bad. Our platform cleaning was really good here, right? Like tanks are holding a ton of stacks, which is awesome. And we used our DH to do some extra clearing too, so the platform's really clean. And then we're going to do all the dispels before we leave. And look at, we got a super clean fourth platform. So this is what you want. This is the juice. And depending on your DPS, if you're progging this, you don't need to worry about early lust or anything. You lust after the Veil in 30 seconds, and then you just blast until Raze. If you've got it on farm, you might be lusting early here. I believe on this one, we lust the late lust, like the prog lust, but it ends up being too late. These Death Knives are scary as hell. You can see I got Bark Skin, Darkness Rally, like so safe here. And move out to your spot, spread for screams. Like you always just go to your assigned spot, pre-move there, make it easier for you and your guildies. It's 100% the play. And like from here on out, it's pretty easy. After this Veil's the ramp. I probably shouldn't have. That part's scary, getting it. Bear form to protect myself. It caused me to delay my CDs a little bit here, which sucks because like you can see, I'm pumping pretty good. I'm 8.6k going into the ramp, which is really good. This has got pot, hero, everything. You know, I even get the PI here, so I can spam Starfire instead of Wrath for a tiny bit extra DPS. Like, this would have been a massive pumper pull, but you can see the boss is just melting. So, like, it dies right here when I'm at 9k, and I hadn't even hit Fury of Elune yet. So, this could have been a monster purse. Boss died super early. It kind of stopped me, but that's what happens when you have a clean pull. You know, the DPS check with the Dom sockets we have is not a ton. It's not really that bad anymore. So, but yeah, that's a quick look at and some commentary on Mythic Sylvanas as a Boomkin. And you know, if you're a Boomy looking to down Mythic Sylvanas, go ahead and hit me up if you were looking for any advice, any suggestions. This was actually a one-shot night, which felt super good. It's always good when you can do that on Reclear. But yeah, if you want to send me logs, anything like that, I can look over, help suggest any changes for you if you're a Boomkin trying to get this fight down. There's a lot you can do to help your guild, so here's some insight into how to do it. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give me any suggestions that you guys would like to see a video on, and I'd go ahead and make that for you guys happily.